Thank you.
All right, guys, we got Coach here. We'll go ahead and start with an opening statement from Coach, and then you guys know the drill. Get your hands raised and go ahead and get your questions. So with that, Coach, get us started with an opening statement.
Proud of our football team for a team win. Just great effort in all three phases to do exactly what we've coached them to do, and to play one play at a time. For our defense to hold them to 98 rushing yards, 145 total yards, just an unbelievable effort by those guys. Hats off to Coach Walters, Coach Smith, Coach Haley, Coach Gibbs, Coach Harbison. Just an incredible job there. Offensively, we preached no turnovers, needed 200 yards rushing, and we got that today. We controlled the clock. Our ability to control the clock in the third and fourth quarter, I think, was the biggest difference. So a tremendous win. Yeah, with that, I'll take questions.
First one comes from Peter Ball from The Athletic. Peter, go ahead.
Did you say me, Sean? I couldn't quite hear.
Yeah, Peter, go ahead.
Okay. Eli, when after that, I guess 3 and out on offense and Kentucky kind of had the chance to go to tie the game, how important was it for your team to get that 3 and out back on the other end defensively?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you can force a 3 out, it's a great job. Really good focus by our defense to take a this play philosophy and a this play mindset and not worry about everything else. And we told our team, play fearless and play connected and know that, as long as you know your teammates have your back, you can play with everything you got. And that's what they did tonight.
Mitchell 40 from Power Mizzou. Mitchell.
Eli, obviously you mentioned the clock control. I mean, was the game plan coming in to run the ball this many times and try to hold the ball like that, or was it just found success with it and keep going back to what's working?
No, we were definitely planning on running the ball and trying to really pound the clock, just because we felt like the way they played the last 2 games with playing coverage and trying to really rally to the ball late, they were forcing people to throw 9 interceptions. And so for us, we felt like we needed to lean on Larry and our offensive line, and worked out. Can we hit something? There's a big blue on the middle of their screen. Okay, thank you. Yep.
Next one comes from Clint Switzer. Clint, go ahead.
Coach, you talked about Larry Rountree, 37 carries, 126 yards, 2 touchdowns. Talk about him and kind of what he's meant to this program. He just became the 3rd all-time leading rusher in school history, and just another wonderful day for him, certainly.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great young man. He's got an infectious smile and personality. He's a guy that's bought into everything that we've asked him to do. He's a captain of our football team, which means he has the respect of our locker room, the respect of the players. He's definitely got the respect of me as a person and as the head football coach. And I just love the way he comes to work every day. He never pouts. He never has a bad day. And he can take a butt chewing now. I'll tell you what, there was a couple times I got onto him on the sideline, but he's just such a tremendous young man. His parents have done an outstanding job raising him.
Next one comes from Bill Pollock from Missouri. Bill.
Hey, Eli, just talk about how difficult it is for an offense. A couple of weeks ago against the LSU, you had to throw the ball. It kind of got into a shootout. And then you go to a completely different style of game where you're pounding it. And it seems to me like it'd be pretty difficult for an offense to be able to do one thing one week and then switch and do the other. Just talk about that group.
I think that's the ability of our team. That's the style of play that we have. We want to execute our DNA. The philosophy of our game is rhythm, attack, execute. We want to play with rhythm. We want to always attack the defense. But at the end of the day, it's always about the execution. And for us, we still executed our DNA plays, whether we're running or throwing it. And just hats off to those guys. They accepted the challenge. Our offensive line accepted the challenge of rushing the football for 200 yards and not turning the ball over. So incredibly proud of them. We knew we were going to be in some 3rd down situations, obviously missed a couple late, but to go 10 of 20 and 4 or 5 on 4th down, it's pretty good job.
Next one comes from Dave Matter from the St. Louis Post. Dave. Dave.
Sorry, Eli. You just mentioned your O-line, but you look like you lost a couple guys during the game. Just for that group to really control the line of scrimmage against this defense and what this defense has done, what's it say about that group?
Yeah, I mean, hats off to Marcus Johnson. I think he's instilled his identity with those guys, and we had to play multiple people. Xavier Delgado got hurt early. Larry Bourne got hurt late. Zeke Powell got hurt late. So, I mean, we were down to our top 8 offensive linemen and still able to rush the football and, just a outstanding job.
Next one comes from Jack Sobel from the Maneater. Jack.
Coach, you mentioned the third downs. Connor went 8 of 9 for 80 yards on third down. What specifically did he and the rest of the team do that allowed you guys to throw so well in those situations?
Well, I mean, he has incredible poise. There's several times that I thought the pocket broke down. He still kept his eyes downfield and found it. I think the one incompletion, he was nodding his head on the sideline because he knew he should have ran for the first down right there. But, he's just got really good poise. He really doesn't get rattled and does a nice job keeping his eyes downfield.
Next one comes from Eric Blum from the Columbia Daily Tribune. Eric.
Hey, Eli, throughout the game, Kentucky had about 10 yards passing or under 10 yards passing for a majority of the game, and then Bledsoe is the one to get the takeaway that secures the win. What do you make of the play of the secondary today?
Yeah, I mean, outstanding job. They get put on islands a lot and really do a nice job defending the ball. I think they came out in the opening series and threw 3 straight passes, and we were able to defend all 3 of those. And then, for Bledsoe to rip that ball out late, he is playing at a high level, and so glad he's on our football team. Another senior leader that just embodies what we want to be here at Mizzou.
Andy Humphrey from KTGR. Andy Humphrey, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, it seemed that you really neutralized, Terry Wilson's running ability with the way that he's been, providing kind of a dual threat. Just how difficult was it, to prepare your group for, a running quarterback like that when they also have some pretty tough backs to deal with too?
Yeah, I think we neutralized all their running ability, whether it was Terry or the running backs or any of them. Hats off to our defensive staff. And, we had a great game plan. We had a couple of times where we knew specifically that if he was going to get out, that Tyree Gillespie was going to have a one-on-one tackle in space. He did that well. So, again, a tremendous scheme by our defensive staff and Coach Walters and tremendous execution by our players.
Next one goes to Peter Ball from The Athletic. Peter.
Yeah, Eli, can you kind of take us through your thought process to kick the field goal at the end of the first half and then go for it on fourth, I guess, after that really long drive in the third quarter?
Yeah. At the end of the first half, we wanted to be up at least by 1 possession. And so, it was pretty easy. We take a shot, try to get it in on the hard play action. If not, we didn't. And then the second one, honestly, is a coaching screw up. I got to get to a 2-possession game. That was a bad decision by me. Just to be honest, I should have kicked the field goal there and felt like we had converted a couple of fourth downs on that drive already. And we didn't execute the play call that we had called. But ultimately, that was my fault. I definitely should have kicked the field goal and gone up 2 possessions. Thank God that our defense held them, and then our offense responded the very next drive.
Mitchell 40 from Power Mizzou. Mitchell, go ahead.
You've touched, Eli, on the success of the run defense a few times. Just how important when you're playing Kentucky is it to stop the run? How much easier does your job become when they're not able to lean on that?
You got no shot to win the game if you don't stop the run against Kentucky. That's what they do. That's what their identity is. That's what their DNA is, and that's what their defensive schemes and special teams are built to do. They're built not to give up big plays, force you to pass the ball and intercept and force turnovers. They got an incredible punter and special teams in order to flip the field on you, and so it's all a ball control type game, and there's really no other way around it other than to beat them at their own game.
Kyle Pinnell from the Maneater. Kyle, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, you kind of talked about this as far as answering Peter's question, but what does it do on that drive to convert those 3 fourth downs beforehand to for the psyche of the offense when you're dialing the plays up that they're coming in and converting 3rd and 5 or 4th and 5s, not just 4th and 1s?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, our team is understanding of who we are, and executing under pressure is something that we discuss and challenge ourselves to do all the time. And so, we knew going into the game we were going to be in those scenarios, and You know, you can either feel pressure or apply pressure. For us, we choose to apply the pressure. The saying is pressure isn't something you feel, it's something you apply. And so we're trying to apply pressure.
Next one goes to Natalie Jones from ABC 17. Natalie.
Hey, Coach, I'm curious what it does, 2 wins for this program now, for motivation for your guys, for you to see the results of what you guys have been implementing. What does 2 wins do for you guys this season?
Yeah, it means we're 2-2. But I think bigger picture, it gives credibility to what we've asked these guys to do. We've asked them to do things that are different. Not that what they did here was right or wrong. It's just what we're doing is different, and it's a different style. And we've asked people to really buy into it, whether it's players, coaches, administration, fans, and to see the results, to see us beat, a defending national champion, to see us end a streak of 5 years or longer. I think it just, it gives credibility to what we're trying to accomplish. And so it's good. It's a step. Obviously we're 2-2, which puts us in a situation to travel to Florida for a big game.
Next one goes to Ben Arnett from KOMU. Ben.
Hey, Eli, in a game where obviously we talk a lot about the contribution of the running game and Larry Rountree in particular, how did you feel that Connor Bazelak handled his role in the game plan today and maybe took another step forward in his growth and development?
Yeah, I thought he did a nice job not trying to force the ball. I think sometimes, our biggest coaching point with him was don't get bored doing your job. Don't get bored taking the check down, throwing the ball underneath. As a quarterback, we want to, sling the pill down the field. And, there was only really one time that I thought he really made a big mistake when he tried to throw the take post down to Dame when Barrett Bannister was running wide open on the flag route. And so, I think just snapping him back in there and just don't get bored, take what the defense gives you, and eventually they'll give you the game.
All right, guys, we've got time for a couple more. Next one's going to come from Suichi Kurata from the Casey Star. Suichi.
Hey, Eli, time of possession might be maybe a little misleading sometimes, but what does 43-17, that edge, kind of mean for you guys and kind of showing that you guys are able to play the brand of ball you guys wanted to play?
It's hard to score if you don't have the football, I think it just means that we were able to do our jobs and again, execute under pressure and execute. Doesn't matter the plays you call, it matters the plays you execute. And our guys did that tonight. And I'm just really proud of them. I mean, both sides of the ball. I mean, they played the game exactly like we wanted it to be played in order to win. And that doesn't happen very often against a really good football team. I mean, we went down there and held them to 36 plays. They were 2 of 9 on third down offensively. We rushed for 400, threw for 200, 10 for 20, 43 minutes. I mean, I'm shocked at these stats. I've never been in a game like this. So that's awesome.
Going back to the offensive line, Eli, you said probably almost about a month ago at this point then that availability is maybe more important than ability when you guys were banged up and had a few opt-outs because of the COVID. To see the progression of where you can say that and now to say you guys lost a few offensive linemen due to injury in the game shows what about that group in particular?
Resiliency, toughness. I think it signifies everything you ever think about with offensive linemen. They're guys that don't get enough credit. They show up to work every day. They just do the dirty work. They don't complain. They don't fuss. They don't get nearly enough credit. But they're really the engine that makes your room go and makes your offense go and your team go. And Case Cook and Michael Mayetti are the leaders of that group, and Larry Borum. And man, they just show up every day to work. They got their tails kicked most of the fall camp, and they never complained. They never BCD'd. They just kept coming back to work. And again, hats off to Marcus Johnson. I think, he's just done an outstanding job. Outstanding job.
All right, guys, we'll let Coach go with that one. We'll bring the players in shortly. So.
Don't ask me hard questions. I'm just kidding. That's a joke, Blum. That's a joke.